Yo, what's up, dude? All right, so just pulling this up. Looks like I'm reviewing the $2 8 max. So yeah, just go ahead and get into it here. All right, so assuming you fold Jack 8, assuming you check here, check. Yeah, probably just gonna be folding even with an 8 here. All right, on to the next. What's going on? Ooh, 3-8 again. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Sometimes you can complete 8-3 is a candidate. I think you can just fold. Oh, wait. Hold on. All right, pause. I mean, this probably isn't even really worth mentioning, but you can sometimes just like limp here and try to complete, but obviously giving that guy a walk is fine for what it's worth. All right, Queen Jack here. So this 3-bet sizing is I think it's way too small. A call is fine, but if you're gonna 3-bet here, I would probably make it like 450-ish, something like that. But let's see, salt. So I'm assuming he's probably gonna check to you. Ooh, he leads out. As played, this is kind of an interesting spot now. You can flat. You have 2 overs and like a lot of backdoor stuff. So I don't know. You can raise it to like 530, or you can flat. But at the same time, also pre-flop, I would make your 3-bet bigger. All right. Well, I think definitely you wanna do something there because he's betting so small into that pot. But it's it's the early stages as well. But if he makes it like 350, might just fold. But I would probably either at least float one here um, or raise the flop. Oh, gotta hit play. All right, assuming we just fold that. It's a good fold. Sometimes you can open there if you are deep, but folding is good. Jack 10, that's a good fold. That's a good fold. Early position. All right, I can live with the ace-2 fold. Oh yeah, we're getting out of there. 6-10. Yeah, probably just fold. If it was to the big blind, if it folded to the big blind, if it was blind versus blind, I would probably you can either limp or raise. Probably limping is better. But yeah, go to the next hand. Jack 2, probably just gonna pitch that. 4 fold. Jack Queen. All right, I can live with that. It's actually a good fold. Fold that. Now, if this folded to me on the button here, I am, yep, okay, good open. 200 is fine. Yeah, okay, 200 is fine. Didn't see the button was 40-80. Yeah, 200 is good. And looks like you just take the pot down. Nice takedown. Play. All right, good. You're making it the same size with both hands. I like that. A lot of people like to make it bigger if they have stronger hands, but that's good right there. All right, I think you can open here, but I don't hate a fold. I think both options are completely fine. It's another one, 6-5. I mean, yes, you are under the gun, but I feel like you can open there or fold. Probably folding is the best option. Maybe I just got out of work. Maybe I'm in like a splashy mood, but well, also the big blind here is pretty short too, so probably best fold. All right, moving along. Okay. Wish there was a way that I could. Okay, let's see if it's folds to the blinds here. All right, I don't want to fold. I don't. I really don't hate that fold, but I think you can call or three bet there. I would probably. I mean, all three options are good there. Fold, call, or raise are all pretty good there. I think when you're this deep. Um, I think folding's fine. All right, let's see. Hopefully you defend here. Ah, see, you can. I mean, yeah, he does 3x, but like versus his range, you can totally take a flop here, and then like if you flop top pair, you can just check call and play a cheap pot. But Jack nine is doing pretty well against his range. Like think about it, even if he has like ace king, like he's raising so many hands, ace king, ace seven, ace deuce. Um, all sorts of hands like that. So I would definitely defend with Jack nine here. If it was suited, you can even make an argument to three bet him there. But I would take a flop with the Jack nine there. But that's all right. Mm, I don't hate it. It's good. I guess it's like good game theory because yeah, you like there's a lot of reverse implied odds, but I think it's still good to stay aggressive. And I would raise up ace five here, but it's not like you know if I'm playing like a lot of tables, I might fold a hand like this, but I would totally raise this up when folded to me. But if any of these guys raised, I would probably just fold pre. But when it's folded to me here, I'd probably make it somewhere between 275 and 325. And towards the beginning levels, you want to go like the sizes you've been making, and then when the blinds and antes start to come in, you probably want to start making it like 2.5 to just min raise, whatever you're comfortable with. 7. Yeah, you can fold 10-4. All right, good, complete. You should be completing a lot with like a lot of hands, especially like even like nine deuce when the action goes like this, you should totally complete. Obviously, it sucks when the big blind raises up 1K, but you shouldn't when you're getting good pot odds and there's like the guy calls here, the guy calls here, you should almost always complete. All right, I don't mind a fold there. All right, good open. Okay, so this is one of those boards where I get confused. I think c betting or just check giving up is fine, but I wouldn't hate a bet of like 435 right here. All right, 275. I mean, in this stage, it might be a little small. You can start doing this sizing like later on in the tournament. It's not terrible sizing. I guess if you're balanced and you're making it that size with bluffs and stuff too. And when I just keep in mind that I'm saying this like when you like you're 76 big blinds deep. So I'd probably go like 435 here if I choose to bet. Um, I think decent amount of the time you're going to take it down, but also jacks and queens are in his range. And another thing to think about is like, would you see bet here with pocket eights? Would you see bet here with pocket sevens? You might check those back, but I could be wrong. But you can kind of look at it the same way with like ace high here. So like there's not just like your hand, there's like board texture and the villain's range to like think about as well. I think a bet here I think a bet or a check is fine. I might lean towards kind of check back, giving up, but a bet's fine. And if he completes, I mean, you could. It's tough because like hands he's calling you with equity like 8-9. I don't think he ever has ace king here. Um, Maybe he's peeling the flop with like a pocket pair or something. So like that 10 is like stuff gets there, and it's not really a scare card, so it's like tough to get him off. I think that I'm probably checking back and hoping to hit a king on the river and reevaluating the situation on the river. But it feels like he just has like uh, some sort of queen, something like that. Maybe like a gutter. Maybe that 10 hits him. So see what you do. Check back. All right, that's fine. And your river, the perceived nuts. I would probably, yeah, that's a good sizing. You could go like anywhere between that size and like 800, I think. But yeah, that's a really good sizing. All right, nice hand. Good fold. All right, good check. And I think you have to lead this turn. I would fire out probably like 285-ish, somewhere in that range. All right, good. Um, yeah, fine. I mean, these are one of those spots where you might be able to get away with an overbet because they might think that they're chopping a ton, and it might look like you're trying to get them to bluff off. But obviously, I think your sizing is good as well. So I like the way you play this hand. Nice, always a good feeling. What do you have? Ah, okay. So yeah, that guy just pretty much punted his stack to you. I don't mind the fold queen 10. I would probably open this, but fold's fine too. Oop, okay. All right. Okay. I wish I could have. I'm trying to like do it so I'm saying what you should do before you do it. And now it's kind of messing with my mind because now obviously I've seen what happens. I was thinking that you this might be an all right spot for a bet. I really don't know what to do here. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I guess to try to like lower the field a little bit. It is four-handed. You do have a pair. Pair can be good. Probably like some pairs bet on the flop. Um, Probably a lot of times like this guy's more likely to bet if he has a pair. Give me that than like this guy or this guy if they have a queen. But let's see how this plays out. So he calls and he calls and he calls. Okay, so I don't think I don't think at this stage in the tournament you can really turn your hand into a bluff because people just look at this as like monopoly chips and they're so deep they'll just flick in. If you bet 1K, what are the blinds right now? 150. You can throw 8 big blinds in there and they'll just call it off like it's nothing. Like you could throw in you could make like a 3K bet and they'd call you with like if it folds to like this guy, he'll call you with queen jack. You know what I mean? So I would probably just check give up. All right. Let's see what they show down. All right, and you fold to that. I mean, I like fundamentally that you're not putting in chips with hands that are not going to flop well, but I think you're certainly deep enough here to try to hit a set with pocket fives. That sizing is pretty big, but just whereas you're so deep and all these guys are, over 50 big blinds deep, which is deep for tournament poker, I'm definitely taking a flop here with two fives. But I like the thought process where it's coming from. And Jack seven, yeah, you can fold. I mean, it depends on your opponents or whatever, but some people you can raise there. You want to be opening looser, like in later position, playing a lot more hands from there. I'm not saying you like specifically, but just like as a good rule of thumb. All right. And hey, if one of these guys were to make it like uh, 500 or less, you totally want to be defending your big blind here with 7-8 suited. When he limps, I'm assuming that you're going to check back. I don't mind that, but it also can be a good spot to throw in like a bet for like 675 to 700. Flops pretty well, and I think a lot of the times he's just going to fold. Okay. If he checks you, I would probably stab here. Bet like 325. You have backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and again he can just fold. Okay, I don't mind it, and yeah, I probably would not be playing passive here because he's a lot of the times he's just gonna have like probably Jack four, Queen two, like hands like that. So I think bet on the flop would be good. But I think as played, maybe checking back the turn is good because your story isn't as credible now. But I wouldn't hate a stab either. And just check back. You win it with a seven with the eight high. That's sick. That's what I mean though. Is like obviously he's playing hands worse than eight high that way. That are better than eight high as well, and you can just take it down. Oh, all right. Yeah, I don't mind a fold here. And when earlier when I was talking about completing, it's when like other people come in, but you can complete the big blind there, but I don't hate a fold. I certainly give walks plenty. Yeah, good fold. Hold on. So this might be a little passive. This is a pretty good like suited gapper. It's gonna play pretty well, especially when you're this deep too. If there's all sorts of situations that come up, like if you're 20 big blinds deep and well, no, let's not say 20 because I think you could open it with your 22. But if let's say you're like 16 big blinds deep, probably a good hand to fold then. Um, but also if you had like 15 or like 12 big blinds, you could probably jam this depending on stack sizes behind you and whatnot as well. But I would definitely come in here for a raise of like 450 to 525. Anywhere in those sizes are good. But it's all right. Fold king seven. All right, and I would have defended most likely to this sizing if this dude didn't jam or whatever. I mean, I totally get your feeling here because he 4x'd it, but it is definitely a super tough spot because flattening does kind of suck because you're out of position and it's not the best hand to three bet with, but it just feels so tight, you know. But I don't hate that fold based on his sizing. And like he's probably not really folding the three bets. And I guess if you are three betting, you are kind of like three bet bluffing. So we'll just chalk that one up to like a pretty tough spot when he makes it 800. But if he's making it like normal sizes, like 475 to 600 ish, I would definitely probably call for sure. Let's see next hand. Ooh. What? I haven't really done this before, so you gotta. All right, ace six here. All right, that's a good sizing. Okay, and you flop the nut flush draw here. When you have this stack depth, I think it's really good to bet here. Probably like I don't know, somewhere between 565 and like 740 is reasonable. And if you were like 30 big blinds deep and the guy, well, all right, we won't worry about if you're 30 big blinds deep, but we'll just say c betting here is appropriate. Checking back is not terrible though. Good bet, good bet. So you take that one down. You can raise this guy, make it like 725 for limping, but don't hate a fold either. Actually, you can mix in a limp there sometimes too. It's not too bad, but I don't hate a fold. All right, assuming you just fold that. Assuming you just fold that. All right, get a walk up there. Good complete. Yep, I like a check. If the turn is like a 4, 7, 8, or even maybe like a king, I would well, maybe not a king, but if you turn any sort of equity on this turn, I would totally bet if I was you. All right, I'll probably just check. All right, on to the next hand. Fold. All right, good open. All right, after he checks to you, I mean, I wouldn't hate a c bet, but I would tend to check back this flop, just check give up. Yeah, he is calling you with a ton of pairs and stuff, but I feel like his range is like sticky queen jacks that aren't going to fold, like king tens, probably like a fair amount of king queens. Yes, he is going to have hands like ace nine that will just fold and stuff like that, but I would probably just check back this flop, check give up. Good. All right, that's an interesting card. It like gives you perceived equity, but it also hits his range a little bit too. Um, if he were to check to you, I wouldn't mind a stab, but probably lean towards just checking back. All right, I don't mind that. All right.
Now, question is, do you go for it? I mean, it feels like he has probably like some sort of mid pocket pair, or like, yeah, I mean, he could have like, I don't know, the some sort of like random 9-8 with the nine of diamonds. You know what I mean? But it feels like he has some sort of pair showdown value here. Um, I would probably just give up. But again, if you got the courage to make it like anywhere between 2,500 to overbet like 4K ish to 4,600, respect. Ace five. Oh, okay. So he did have the ace of diamonds there, and yeah. So in hindsight, it was a good check back because he did have trips. So yeah, I don't mind you checking back there. But obviously, yeah, trips he wouldn't have folded. But river bluff, if you would have fired at a river bluff there, I would have been like, holy shit. Fold. What? Let me just see the. Fuck. Okay, so I would have defended my big blind here. You're getting such a good price. He makes it like 608. If he makes it like anywhere between like 750 to 900, I would probably fold. But when he makes it, you should be defending your big blind pretty wide. Um, Probably fold like king. Like I would call it like any suited king, to be honest. And I mean, I guess if you want to stick to like the chart, probably like fold like king four or lower. But I wouldn't hate a king three like defend or whatever. When you're getting a really good price, you should always accept the bet because it doesn't necessarily mean they have the nuts. Uh, yeah, I don't mind that. Although you can potentially re-ISO here. Sorry, it's on autoplay. Like this guy's like less than 10 bigs. I'm sure he's never folding. Yeah, I think a fold. I think a fold is good. But sometimes you can recognize these small stacks and just like gamble it up with them. I can't do the exact math. I'm like not much of a numbers guy, but like versus stack size, like if you raise him and put him all in, like you only need like X amount of like equity to make it profitable. So like if you had like I don't know, maybe like Jack 10 suited, it might not be too bad to like three bet get it in with him and then fold if these guys like get cray cray with you. So when he makes it like 900 there and you have like Jack 10 suited, I wouldn't hate a fold, but like where like you have like a pretty good stack, you could probably three bet get it in, and I would probably do it definitely with like ace seven suited, and then like for offsuits probably like ace ten or better. But yeah, I think king ten's a good fold here. Oh, stepping out a little bit. Um, to be honest though, I don't really like it too much, and here's why. If you look at this stack, like if you raise here and he goes all in, you have to call his jam and you have to show down queen eight. Um, and then this guy also has a really big uh, like a really good rejam stack. So in this spot,
I would probably just fold Queen 8 of hearts here, even shorthanded. I think it'd be better to open like Jack 10 suited, Jack 10 offsuit, King Jack, hands like that. Obviously better hands than that. But this particular combo, even though I've been pushing towards more aggression, I would fold here. But let's see. All right. And I would probably throw in a bet here of like 900. Anywhere from 800 to like 1,000, I think is suitable. All right, good size. I like it. Ooh, now you're in a tough spot. I mean, it's really tough to fold here with top pair, backdoor flush draw. He's showing reasonable reg stats. I don't think he's ever gonna have like jacks. He can have pocket threes, but it's pretty unlikely for sets. He can have hands like King 10, Ace 10, potentially flush draws. So I'm definitely not folding this flop, but the question is, am I re-raising? I would probably just call if I was you. All right. And you're going to be checking. He checks back. Interesting. So maybe he does have a flush draw. Maybe he's playing a better queen than you scared. But I would be just check calling most rivers. Maybe bet like Queen 8, but sometimes, he can have complete air here, so the only way you get paid off is by just check calling. But you need to be like, pay attention to the board texture. Like there's a club draw out there, there's like an open-ended straight draw, there's gutters. So like if the deuce of spades peels off, I would totally just like check call. You know what I mean? And that's a pretty safe card. Yeah, see, yeah, I mean, I like that you're going for thin value here. Like it is cool, but I just feel like one of the ways you're only going to get paid off here is if if you check call, because I think a lot of times it's just going to fold, and other times, like if you check to him, you can at least give him the chance to bluff at it. So I would just check call, but what do I know? Yeah, he just folds. He probably had like some sort of draw. But yeah, definitely that's one thing that I like learned is like sometimes the way to get value is to not bet for value, because they can have absolutely nothing in their hands. But it is important to pay attention to board textures. Like I was saying, this board is pretty wet. A lot of hands that people are going to be playing on a queen jack board, they hit pretty hard. And then there's two clubs as well. So like Broadway cards, you know, King Jack. King Jack is a hand you can get value from, but like King 10, Ace 10, 8, 9, 9, 10, stuff like that, miss flush draws. So it's like, I think sometimes it's good to just check and let them make your value bet for you. And, okay, I would have defended here with Jack 7. And complete, good. Check. All right. Yeah, just fold. Let's take a look at stack sizes.
I would probably open this, and if this guy jams ace 9876, I would. I mean, you can almost fold him because he has slightly over 10 big blinds, but I would probably call. Definitely would call him. And if they jam, I'm definitely fold to jams from him. Probably, but it's also a hand you can defend three bets with depending on the size. So I would totally open here with King 10 of Hearts. All right, and I hope you call. No. All right, dude. Especially to that size, you definitely got to be calling this. I mean, I totally could get the pain if he just open ripped like 8K or something. But this 10 big blind jam, you got to call that. I would, you know what I mean? Like you gotta be high fiving the screen calling that. Like he's jamming all sorts of worse pairs, all sorts of stuff. But you said in the email that you thought you were folding a little too much. So I won't dwell on it too much. So because I think you probably know you're supposed to call there. But I'll move on to the next hand. Sure, you're gonna have like a ton of negative results from calling there, but he's got 10 big, like about 10 big blinds, and yeah, okay. Yeah, he's got about 10 big blinds, and you're just gonna, you're gonna be flipping sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna be seeing just an ace is an over. Obviously, tons of Broadway cards, which is flipping, but um, you gotta kind of have like the gamble in you. But I totally know the feeling of feeling like you are gonna like run bad in spots like this. But in this scenario, I would totally be calling this off. All right, I don't mind a fold there. Yeah, I'm sure you know this already, but you always want to be watching for like 10 big blind stacks and something like that. One important fact of poker is paying attention to people's stack sizes. That's why I haven't been twitching as much lately because I tend to space out on people's stack sizes when I'm keeping up with my minimal chat. And I wouldn't hate an open here. Yeah, open's fine, but fold's fine too. I would just like check my OBS and I was like, wait, am I recording? I was like, because that'd be really bad if I spent however long this has been and didn't record this whole thing. All right, looks like you're getting a lot of shitty cards right now. Let's just go back to here. Again, I don't mind a fold here, but one thing I'm going to press a ton is to defend your big blind. Hoping you're hopping in there with like Jack 4 suited probably. All right. All right. Now this is a hand that something. All right, he checks. I would probably stab here, make it like 1300-ish probably. That's fine though. And I think as played, I would just check and probably check fold. Let's see what he had.
King, queen. Okay. I still would bet that turn though. I like checking on the flop obviously, but on the turn with like the 5 and the jack of hearts, probably totally bet that turn. Missed a Ben. Definitely check call here. And I would probably lead this turn. Good. 1100 is fine. I'd probably want to go more to like half potish here, but that's fine. Probably make a lot of those smaller bets like when you're c-betting on the flop. Turn, kind of size up a little bit, but it does depend. It really does depend on a lot of different factors. But like I said, I'm not like any sort of super wizard, but all right, ace king, good size, and you're still doing a really good job of being consistent with your sizing. Yep, definitely calling this off. Nice, king 9. So I would probably make it like 2,700 here, but I get it if you check back. It's like you have a really awkward stack depth to play out of position and blow to pot, but I feel like you can get value here. So I would probably make it somewhere between like 25 and 2,800 here. All right, yeah, that's just too small because you're giving him in position like a chance to see a good flop. Um, I mean, if you want to do this with like higher up value hands and go exploitable, like I wouldn't mind that. Like if you had like jacks, queens, kings, or aces here, but again, you'd be going like taking like an exploitable approach if you're doing that. I wouldn't mind the sizing then, but I'm probably gonna go like 25 to 800 here if I choose to raise. He's just getting way too good of a price there. Obviously, that's a very good flop. Good. I like your sizing on the flop. Anywhere from, I think your sizing is fine, but I'm also going to say, as played, the size that you made it pre-flop, anywhere from like 1,700 to like your sizing is good. Just because the scary backdoor draw, you have the ace of clubs. So, but yeah, nice hand. Ooh, that's strange. That's very uncharacteristic of you because you have been completing when you're supposed to. But yeah, nonetheless, I would totally complete there. I would fold this for sure. The only reason I was like counting on the king 10 last time was because it was suited, which is like pretty important. Okay. Depending on the action, like if these guys don't 3-bet, this is a spot that you can call and try to give the big blind like a really good price to come in, and it's a really good hand combo to see 3 ways. So don't undervalue your suited connectors. You know what I mean? So if it's folded to me, I would probably try to jump in here with a call. All right, folding now. Ooh, you were running the aces, but you would have got there. But we're not going to pay attention to that though. All right. Ooh.
Okay. So I will say one thing. It's you've done a really good job of keeping your sizing um uh like the same no matter what your hands are. But just think about this. Last hand you had ace queen in the big blind and this guy limps, right? And you make it you know little less than like or you make it like 2.5x, you know what I mean? And now you have a hand that you want to get called by and you're in position and you make it the size that you wanted to make it last time. So this sizing isn't bad, but I would probably go like um, a little bit smaller, like 22,000 to like 2,300. And I'm not just trying to be like nitpicking, you know what I mean? But I just want you to like use the logic is why are you making this so big when you're in a way better scenario? You have kings in position versus a guy that is like pretty passive. And then when you have ace queen in the big blind and he limps and you're out of position, you make it really small. So that's one thing to consider. Um, but yeah, I don't hate the sizing. But the thing is, I would have made it the sizing with the ace queen as well. But yeah, 21 to like this sizing, it's fine. All right. And then obviously calling. Nice hand. Okay. I actually have somewhere I need to be right now, but I'll just send this video to you in like parts, but I have this part done. So that's part one. Now we'll watch this last one. Oh, well, sorry, I didn't see how that played out. Okay, so I think you might have mixed in a complete here, which I don't hate, but if he raises, I probably would like re-raise him. I'm hoping that you make it like anywhere from 23 to 2,500. Okay. So I mean, I won't be like redundant and keep saying it, but see now you're out of position with ace 10, and you're making it smaller with a hand, like with those kings hand, you made those huge, and you've been doing a really good job at keeping your sizing the same. I think maybe I don't want to like speculate, but it might seem like you were afraid to lose with kings or something. But I would totally not be making it this small, blind versus blind, when you're out of position. Like I'm going like 21 to 2,300. Basically, like when you're blind versus blind and out of position, you want to be about 3xing or more. So, but yeah, we'll just raise that up. And I never know what to do on these boards. I wouldn't hate a c-bet. Probably like I don't mind a check call, to be honest, and I don't mind a bet of like 1,900. So let's see. 19. Yeah, that's good sizing. All right, he calls. All right, that's a good turn. And now this is kind of a goofy spot. I would probably bet about 3,200 here for value. It is dry. And then what I would do is I'd bet 3,200 and probably just call a lot of rivers. Obviously, that's a pretty bad run out. I do not really like this very much, and I'm going to tell you why. Okay, unless you are being a super sicko and betting for pure value here, that is
that's awesome. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of times here, it goes to like what we were talking about earlier, or what I was talking about earlier, where um, you want to just like let them bluff. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if he bets like, and he can have the best hand, but I would probably tend to like check call here as played, as the way he's played the hand. Um, but like if he raises you, it really sucks to like bet fold here. So I mean, if you do end up getting value here, like that's pretty sick. You know what I mean? So if you're using like that logic that you're getting value with this hand, like hats off. But I think at the same time when you do bet here and you get called for value, I think it might tend to be a bit like just fortunate, like like a little bit of run good. I think a lot of times the best way to play this spot, which is it's player dependent as well, but I think a lot of times to play this spot is to um, uh, just check call. But I have a feeling he looked you up with like ace eight or something. And you do take it down. All right, nice hand. But like I said, I'm going to finish the rest of this video probably like tomorrow or something. But yeah, I'm gonna send you an email and figure out how you want me to send it. But yeah, I mean, a couple things could definitely loosen up a little bit, but definitely seen a lot of good stuff too. So I hope you find this helpful, and then I'll send the rest of it to you a little later.